Former President of the United States became the first Republican to declare his candidacy for the 2024 presidential election, saying America's comeback starts right now. A historic moment in politics that comes despite multiple federal and state investigations, 2 impeachments, inspiring the January 6 rioters, an attempted coup, and criticism over his role in Republicans' underwhelming performance in the midterms. I'm joined now by Mick Mulvaney, who served as acting chief of staff for the former president. Previously, he was a Republican member of Congress from South Carolina. Mr. Mulvaney, appreciate you being with us. I'm wondering what you thought of the president's announcement.
Yeah, well, I think it's still going on. I stepped away to do this interview. What struck me, Anderson, was that he stayed on script almost the entire time. Even when you folks broke off, I was watching on CNN and went to go watch it online. He stayed on script for almost 45 minutes.
He was ad-libbing he was ad-libbing even when we were on him.
Little bits and pieces, but he hadn't got into the part that I wanted to see, which is, was he going to speak about Ron DeSantis? Was he going to speak about Glenn Youngkin, all of his potential challengers? My guess is the speech probably goes on for a while now, but that was what sort of struck me. Trump doesn't like to stay on script. Okay, he likes to have a script. What he does is he'll start on script and leave and talk about what he really wants to talk about, and then come back to the script and then leave and then come back. And I didn't really see that tonight, and that's a difference. The only time I've seen that out of him, Anderson, was a couple of times at the State of the Union and then the United Nations General Assembly. So he was clearly taking this thing very seriously tonight. I just don't know if he's got the discipline to continue to do that as he moves forward.
Does he have, who does he have around him that's actually got a lot of experience? How do you think he's going to run?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's Jason Miller is there. I guess Stephen Miller's probably there. Steve Bannon is always sort of around. So, I mean, it's sort of a mishmash, right? And then there's some new folks. The real question is the team that is with him tonight going to be the team that is with him 3 months from now or 6 months from now or a year from now? Probably not. By the way, that wouldn't be the only campaign that goes through changes during the course of a long campaign. But certainly Trump, more than many perhaps, is probably interested in changing people as he goes. So, the A team is probably gone by now. It really is. The folks that helped him get in 2016, most of those folks are gone. So I don't know who the inner circle is. I don't know who's advising him. But clearly, he decided himself tonight that he was going to stick to the script, and that's a major change in the way that Donald Trump makes these sorts of announcements.
Certainly, what we have been hearing from a lot of Republicans, even the reporters we had who talked to people in the Trump camp. There weren't many people who felt he should announce right now. Do you think it was wise for him to do this?
I don't think he had a choice. In his mind, he didn't have a choice. Remember, he announced this, Anderson, before last Tuesday's midterms. I think it was Sunday or Monday before the midterms. So in his mind, he had to do it tonight. He had committed to that. Trump doesn't reschedule. He would have perceived that as weakness if he didn't do it tonight. Do I think it was a good idea? No. It certainly, it has some advantages to him. It's certainly when it comes to the DOJ investigation, maybe he makes it look like it's more political, but I don't think that really changes many people's minds. He loses the RNC money that he's been receiving for his state lawsuits up in New York, so there's a negative there. But do I think he needed to do it tonight? No. But once he committed to doing it last week, he didn't really have any choice in his own mind.
Do you think this is good for the Republican Party?
No, I don't, because I think he's the only Republican who could lose. If he wins in 2024, now he's a candidate. He is the likely Republican nominee. Can he be beaten head-to-head by Ron DeSantis or Tim Scott? Sure, but it's not going to be a head-to-head race. There'll be 5 or 6 other people in the race, and he'll get the 35% that really support him. And under the winner-take-all primary system, he'll be the nominee. But that means the 2024 race is not about Joe Biden or whatever Democrat is on the ticket, not about inflation, not about world events, not about abortion. It'll be about Donald Trump, the same thing we saw in 2020. No one voted for Joe Biden. Everybody voted for or against Donald Trump. It was a referendum on him, and that's what we're hurtling towards in 2024. And I don't see the outcome being any different 2 years from now than it was 2 years ago.
I'm not sure it's true that nobody voted for Joe Biden, but the Republicans that we have seen, the Republicans we have seen who have been backing away from the former president just in the last couple of days since the midterms, do you believe that once again they will stop backing away and pledge loyalty?
I think a lot of the folks that have backed away are folks that either were never with him in the first place or only very marginally with him. There was some folks made a big deal today about the Club for Growth coming out as supporting Ron DeSantis. Club for Growth was never with Donald Trump in the first place. They did it because it helped them raise money. So what'll change is when there's more folks like me, more folks who are 100% Trump, worked for him, really believed what we're doing, and now sit back and say, you know what, I don't think he's the best candidate we have as a Republican. There's not that many of us out there yet. Keep in mind, keep an eye out for those sorts of folks. Liz Cheney was always going to be against this. You know, Larry Hogan was always going to be against Donald Trump running. That doesn't make a difference. It doesn't move the needle. The question is, where were the folks who were with him in 2016 and with him in 2020 who are now saying, you know what, it's time for generational change. It's time for the next wave of Republican leadership, and Donald Trump is not the best that we have in this party.
Mick Mulvaney, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks, Anderson.